There was a time, once, when we would wake up in the morning to the sounds of birds singing outside, and we could feel the gentle caress of the wind's breeze upon the grass fields, and we would look up to see the glow of a beautiful autumn sunset in the golden sky, telling us that the day was over. The smiling faces of close friends, the broken hearts after the perpetual departure of loved ones, the anxiety that made us remember of a new day to come. Remember? How could we remember? We have forgotten all of it. And how could we not? If anywhere we look, we only see the pitch black darkness of oblivion. The things that used to make us feel, big or small, are just not there to be found. They haven't been for a while now. The happiness I used to feel has slowly been replaced by this unspeakable emptiness that gnaws methodically upon my heart like a parasite. I'm not even allowed the right of sadness, for even meaning has lost its meaning. I need to go back. I need to go back to the last bastion of humankind. I need to resist this emptiness. I need to remember the things that made me happy. The things that made me sad. The things that hurt me. The things that kill me. Hello folks, Gappy here, and today we're here again to give another gaming take that absolutely no one asked for! And today I'm going to be talking about a game that is slightly older. It's really painful to think that 2021 was 5 years ago, but here we are. And as you guys probably inferred by now, given all the context, we're going to be talking about Loop Hero, which is one of, if not my favorite game of all time. I just love that game. And today I kind of just want to talk about it because I kind of just forgot about it, which is really, really poetic given the whole theme of the game. So, yeah, we're talking about it. Loop Hero is a roguelike game where you play as a hero struggling to remember the world as it once was, in an attempt to rescue it from the perpetual darkness of oblivion created by an entity known as the Lich. I'll leave it at that for now, because going further than the surface level can put us into deep spoiler territory, which I'd rather do at a later point. The gameplay loop is really simple. You start in a looped barren path, and every time you go around defeating enemies, you remember how the world used to be. The walking and the battles are done automatically, with the player managing the placement of memory tiles in the map and the hero's inventory. With every new memory tile placed and every new piece of equipment acquired, the hero gets stronger. However, placing a new memory tile also spawns new kinds of enemies, as the hero reminds himself of the creatures who inhabited there, triggering little pieces of dialogue at every first encounter. And I do have to say that the writing in this game is pretty phenomenal at times.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You want to save the world, you want to ask for our help, our answer is no.
How did you... But why no?
We see far away, we see deep inside. For a long time there has been an emptiness instead of the sky, but it doesn't stop us from seeing. Your saving of the world is one-sided and naive. Each person sees their own way to save the world. That's why no one will ever join you.
Fine, I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. How do you see saving the world?
My progeny and kin. May they live and be strong. May they join the cycle of life and death. That is life. That is the world. I will kill you and feed your flesh to my starving younglings, and life will go on. And how many lives can your blade prolong as you kill again and again? Only one.
I don't want you to die, and I don't want your children to die of hunger. Please, try to see reason. If my mission succeeds, the Harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need.
I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. Farewell.
I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I'm causing another. There's no home for Harpies except in the highest mountains, but there's no food here. Can't even imagine how they managed to survive if the mountains were cut off from reality. I can't feed my children with beautiful words. It's so fucking fun. I'm telling you, the writing in this game goes so hard for no fucking reason. At the top of the screen, there are 2 different bars. One of them is relative to the passing of days. With every new day, your character heals a little bit of health and new enemies spawn in the map. The other bar is relative to the world. The more memory tiles you place, the more it fills up. When it reaches the maximum, the Lich shows up. He fucking is.
How is it possible?
That's right! You didn't devour me like the rest of the world.
Haven't I? You really don't think so?
What are you talking about? I'm standing right in front of you.
I consumed all of your reality. Its every element now rests in a separate pocket dimension. Spaces, living beings, information, even memories, they shall remain there until entropy does its work, turning everything into a uniform, static mass. Along with you, of course.
You're insane.
So what do we have here? I see you found a way to interact with other pieces of your reality, organizing, combining, and merging them. But how? I don't see any exceptional talents or knowledge in you. You hardly even understand what's happening, right?
I'll tell you what's happening. A pile of bones is butchering my world and thinks it can get away with it. You're already doomed and you know it.
Perhaps you're just the first in a series of systematic errors, a problem I must learn to solve. Let's not waste any time then.
I don't think you're capable of feeling regret, but I'm about to change that. He does so much damage though.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out of here. Stuff occurred my ass.
At first, the Lich seems like a big wall, considering how much damage he does and how much health he has. But don't despair, this game has a lot of options that make fights way easier. The biggest one being the village, which is where your resources go, and where the roguelike elements come in. Every time you come back from a run, you acquire resources that can be used to build more installations on your village. Each new village building grants you bonuses such as health potions, experience levels for your characters during a run, and even a full-on revive. Not only that, but the game also relies a lot on experimenting with the memory tiles. There are tons of combinations that can either make your game easier or harder, with buffs, debuffs, and unique monsters that can make or break entire runs. One of the combinations I really enjoy doing in this game is the mountain peak, which you probably already saw me doing it in this video a few times, because I try to do it every single run. It's very good. So if you place rocks and mountains on a 3x3 formation, they form the mountain's peak, which is just a flat out health buff that is very good for survivability. And that is just one of many combos. Like, there is so many, like putting a vampire mansion close to a village to make a ransacked village that, even though it just spawns zombies for 3 turns, it turns into an evolved village after that, which not only gives you double the health regeneration, it also gives you more experience, which is phenomenal, by the way. So you do have like pros and cons, but you definitely should be trying to go for as many combinations as you can. There's a lot of strategy to be done in this game. That being said, you should take into consideration also which class you're playing, because this game works on a deck system, so there's only a limited number of memory tiles that you can take to a run, and you should absolutely take into consideration what you can and cannot do and what you should and should not be fighting. The game has 3 playable classes in total. The first one is the Humble Warrior, which is the hero starter class. By building certain base installations, you gain access to the memories and lives of people who used to frequent these places. By building a tavern, you gain access to the Rogue class, and by building a crypt, the Necromancer. The game does a phenomenal job with its class system, because it really feels like no class overpowers each other. They vary in degrees of complexity, and they all have strengths and weaknesses that require that the player works around them with the deck building to make them work properly. Warrior is a class that probably is my favorite in the game. It doesn't take a lot to make it work, but at the same time it's good at everything and not great at anything. So it lacks a lot of a specialization. Rogue, on the other hand, is a class that has a lot of evasion and attack speed, but that can also be a bad thing by itself, because the game runs on a system where the more attacks you do, the more tired your character gets. And if he gets tired, then all of your attack speed is going to be for nothing, because the character is going to have to attack really slowly until he actually rests. And the Necromancer is probably one of the coolest classes in the game, but it's also the most complicated one, because it's very, very stat dependent. Also doesn't have basic attacks normally, and when it does, it's because it ran out of space for skeletons, and then it's just limited to doing little slaps, which is not great, because it does like literally no damage. I mean, not literally, but you get what I mean. And not only that, like I said before, you have to consider which enemies are you going to be fighting with each class. And the greatest example for that is goblins. Goblins are an enemy that can be a pain in the ass. They kind of just manifest after you put enough tiles in there, and they are pretty strong, especially considering they have like so much attack speed. Dealing with goblins while playing the rogue, it's not an issue because you can kill them pretty fast, considering the rogue has so much attack speed as well. But dealing with goblins as a necromancer is an absolute nightmare, because you have to take too long to summon one skeleton, and by the time you get to summon another, the first one is already dead because the goblins already killed him. Main thing to be learned here is fuck goblins. They kinda suck. Okay, so pause. This next segment is gonna go a bit deeper into the game's story. So, if you want to experience the game blind, please stop the video right now, go play the game, and then come back here. Alright? You good? Are you out of here yet? Okay, let's go. After getting a hang of the game's mechanics, solidifying your base of operations, and formulating your strategies, you finally manage to defeat the Lich. And then this happens.
Nonsense. This is impossible for so many reasons. I don't understand.
Now put everything back the way it was.
I can't. I have already completed my task, even if the result is not perfect.
You are in no position to refuse, you sack of bones.
He's already received everything I could gather. I just wanted to see how our crusade against the universe would end. What would come of it? My presence is no longer required.
Who is he? I know the voiceover is not the best one, but I'm trying my best here, okay? You won, but it was nothing more than a hollow victory. Nothing was achieved, and it just feels like you're back to square one again. You push through, for at some point something's gotta give, only to realize that everything has grown more difficult. The monsters now have evolved, not only being generally tougher, but having skills that hinder your advances. It's like the world itself is resisting you, urging you to forget, to give up. It's not worth it. You push through up until the boss meter reaches its end, and then you're greeted by an unfamiliar portal and what might be the most banger song in the entire game. Sorry, I really like that song. I am fighting with 25 of like fucking what, 40%? Crazy. Could you please stop? So it's you who's responsible for all this mess. Stop doing what? Stop doing all this. Resisting. Fighting for the old world. He will erase everything anyway. I'm sorry, but that's just how it must go. So mysterious him again. I expect you're not going to explain who you are talking about, are you? Why wouldn't I? I'm talking about God. He created myriads of stars, galaxies, and... oh, what am I saying? He created everything. And now he is destroying his creation. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. And trust me, I've heard a lot of absurdities. Why would God want to destroy the world? That's what I would call a silly question. Do you think we have the right to discuss God's motives? He's God, for God's sake. If he's decided it has to be done, it means there is a reason and a meaning to it. Instead of all your rage and anger, you ought to thank him for the life you've had and spend the time that's left to bid the universe goodbye. No, wait, that's not right. If all that is true, then why am I still able to resist? Why am I able to restore this world piece by piece? It's very slow, but I'm still able to do it. Does that mean your god is having second thoughts? Is he a god at all? If I can go against his will? These are just empty words. You're simply trying to find a reason to say you're unimportant. No. I feel sorry for you and this world, but your efforts are in vain. You can't stop the harvesting scythe of God with a single blade of grass. I shall end you personally, by word or by force if need be. Well, maybe a blade of grass won't stop a scythe, but it can get into your shoe and hurt you like, You know what, metaphors are not really my thing. Let's see however your god can protect you. Oh, we're so close! Oh, we were so fucking close. So, upon meeting the priestess, you realize that you're not fighting your RPG villain of the week in the Lich. You're actually fighting your JRPG villain, as in the big G-Man himself. 10 out of 10, no notes actually. I love this. This is great. I have a very, very fond relationship with this game. And for the sake of you guys playing the game, I'm gonna stop talking about the story now. Because there's a lot more to uncover to the story of Loop Hero. There is another 2 bosses besides the one I've showed here today. And I absolutely implore you guys to actually just go and try it out by yourselves. This game is phenomenal. And I understand that it's not a game for everybody, but like I said, this game helped me a lot through a very, very difficult period in my life. And I kind of just forgot about it because I think, like, after you're done with that, you kind of just, you know, we're past that thing, you know? And playing it again after so long has made me revisit those moments in my life. And it's amazing how much this game made a difference. Because it's such a simple story of this one little dude that is just a guy trying to remember the world as it once was, and now he's forced to fight these universal forces that are way beyond his imagining. And it's, you know, it helps a lot when you're going through like a very, very depressive period of your life, and you just feel that emptiness inside you, and you see this little guy doing all that. Like, oh yeah, the little guy can fight God, right? I think I can get out of bed today, you know. And I understand that it's such a childish thing, but it really helps a lot, and I think this might help some other people as well. So I urge you guys to actually just try this game. It is a phenomenal experience, and me talking here cannot do justice as to how good this game is while playing. It's a incredible experience. It's a phenomenal roguelike, and I am still waiting for the content because I remember they revealing like a preview for a crossbow class that never came out, so I'm still waiting on that. By the way, in case you guys think I forgot, I didn't. I'm still waiting. By the way, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Please try Loop Hero. It's a phenomenal experience. And if you guys want to, and you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Really helps the channel a lot. We have a Ko-fi now if you guys want to support the channel via, you know, monetary means. Not required, of course. Content here is always going to be free. And, yeah, as usual, more stuff to come. This year is going to be a very interesting one. So, keep an eye out for that. And, stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever you guys are having. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Ciao.